Hello and welcome to the Popcorn Junkies. Here we are reviewing a trailer for a new film that I'm quite excited about, if I'm brutally honest. It's called The Boogeyman. But is the Boogeyman an American version of the Bogeyman? I know that Americans call them boogers and we call them bogies. Sorry, just knocked over a microphone. Oh, it's an enormous bogey. So the Boogeyman, is the Boogeyman or the Bogeyman made of bogies? Did it come from the idea of a bogey? Do you remember that book when we were kids, certainly in the UK, called Fungus the Bogeyman? Anyway, the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman has sort of connotations of, like, you know, those fairy tales or the children's tales. Do you remember the Billy Goat Scruff? Is that right? With the trolls under the bridge. Boogeyman, for me, is a kind of classic in the cupboard, Monsters Inc. style, under the bed type creature type thing. So I'm excited about that. This is based on a short story by Stephen King. Stephen King, obviously, is the man, the creative mind, the strange, twisted writer who's given us so many things, from Misery to Stand By Me to Pet Sematary to The Shining. I mean, they just go on and on and on. Now, what makes this film, or potentially makes this film, much more interesting even than that, is the fact that it's directed by Rob Savage. And Rob Savage is a director who made a film called Host in lockdown, which was, you know, it exploited the Zoom call thing, you know, where you had sort of 9 images, 9 squares, and a bunch of young people conducted a seance, and shit goes wrong, not surprisingly, and all sorts of weird, creepy things happen. But he really exploited quite cleverly the technological opportunities and limitations of these little squares, and it all happened within this screen. It was a very clever, innovative film. He then went on to make Dashcam, which was kind of something similar, where he was playing with tech. It was a dashcam. Someone was streaming their live stream. There was a few kind of gags in there about sort of streamers and YouTubers and all that kind of malarkey. And so there was a lot to like about it. It was perhaps less structurally successful than Host, but it was scary. I mean, if you check it out, Dashcam, it's bloody scary, and it was made with real energy and verve and vim. So the Boogeyman, is by him. So theoretically, this should be good. You know, I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to make of it, of the story. So without further ado, let's check out The Boogeyman, courtesy of Rob Savage and Stephen King.
Okay, get in here. I don't know how you sleep with all these lights. What are you scared of?
Everything. Cupboard.
I don't see anything. Okay, monster check complete.
Nice shot.
It's been around forever. Hidden. In the dark. It's like all those spooky monsters you think are hiding under your bed. It's not real. What is this? It's the thing that comes for your kids when you're not paying attention.
You believe me,
No.
don't you?
Yes. I think that guy at the end who was telling him that it comes for your kids when you ignore them or you take your eyes off them, and that's Peter Dalmatian, isn't it? I don't know if that's his first name, but he plays Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. I have to say, I'm beginning to wonder whether the Boogeyman is at work in this room, because the first time I recorded this, I ran out of storage and then I couldn't get the clip out of my phone, bearing in mind that Rob Savage does a lot of stuff with tech, and now my laptop is saying low battery, going to run out of power. So let me close that. So what did I think of that? It's funny, isn't it? How, I mean, horror films always set in the house. It's always the domestic setting. Classic kind of use of kind of motifs like the cupboard, Monsters Inc. kind of thing. And under the bed. I thought that moment under the bed was great. I love the sort of twisted sort of spin round, 180-degree spin round of the camera to her point of view. And then the rolling the ball. That was a really nice device, a really nice lighting device to kind of get an arc of light to reveal something in a sort of wipe. Moments in there like the person flying towards the television. I was getting sort of poltergeist vibes there. I always kind of lose it a little bit when I see corridors full of candles and all that kind of malarkey. Quite like that, again, that use of light from the fridge to try and see what those eyes were up in the ceiling. But again, I feel like I've seen a lot of creatures and people and ghoulies sort of in the corner of... In fact, there's probably one up there right now watching this and cursing my tech. I can't say I thought it was as original as... his other two films. He's kind of in classic kind of horror territory here, isn't he? It's all in the shadows, it's all behind doors, there's lots of flashes of kind of eyes and hands, and when you get those moments, I do sometimes think that when you see a hand just kind of crawling out, you kind of puncture the mystery, because I do sometimes wonder whether the strength of a monster of any form is it a real monster, or is it a sort of something, a figment of my imagination, and playing on the kind of expectations of what it could be is sometimes stronger. And I think that moment for me was a little bit like that moment in A Quiet Place, the trailer for the first film, when you saw something come in and you're like, I kind of feel I know what it is. I suppose I really want to see its face. I really want to see I don't want to see the Boogeyman's face in real life, but I really want to see the Boogeyman's face in that. I want to see if he's got boogies all over his face. What do you think, guys? Are you excited by that?